You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture making preparations to launch the National Youth Guard program. Plus, the family of a man killed in Hunters over the weekend is seeking answers. And a local company accused of unfair terminations responding to those claims. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture preparing to begin a 3-month training for the National Youth Guard program, slated to begin January 2023. Officials from the ministry touring the Grand Bahama Royal Bahamas Police Force Training College and also paying a courtesy call to the Permanent Secretary to discuss preparations for the upcoming project. Jolanda Thompson, Everest, reports.
A 27-month program has been created by the Youth Division in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, geared towards teaching and training youth ages 18 to 25 how to become equipped and ready for national disasters, emergencies, and tragedies. It is said to be a rigorous exercise, enabling the youth of our country to make haste for future calamities. Officials from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture touring the Police Training College, which is expected to be the official site for the 3-month training. The officials were accompanied by Assistant Commissioner of Police Theophilus Cunningham and his team of officers. The ministry and its partners viewed auditoriums, computer labs, and domiciles, ensuring that they are in good condition for the recruiters. The first 3 months is scheduled for training, followed by internship for 3 months, and the remainder of the month will place participants on call. Head of the Youth Division, Sandina Neely, says the ministry wanted to implement a strategy where young Bahamians are able to facilitate being a part of disaster preventions, ranging all to recovery.
We will have young Bahamians from all over the country that will be here to be trained, to be skilled, to be certified, so that they can re-enter their islands and be able to serve. Everybody knows the story of Hurricane Dorian and how important it is for citizens to be able to assist themselves. And so we want to build a generation of Bahamians who are able to help ourselves whenever a disaster or some emergency happens in our country.
Youth Officer Kenneth Frazier shares the Youth Guard program training will begin the 2nd week in January. He reveals that the training is all for Bahamians, including those located on family islands. Applications can be found on the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture website.
One of the reasons we're excited about being in Grand Bahama is because we're thinking about this and Abaco being one of the heaviest places that are hit by the storm. So we realize that people here are aware and understand the kind of things that be needed for the persons in this particular program. We want to make sure that the persons throughout the entire country are able to help protect their communities, to be able to be active citizens in protecting and building their communities. We realize that as storms hit, that the persons who are on the ground are the ones who are most affected and the ones who can actually help mitigate the processes as soon as possible.
Officials from the Royal Bahamas Police Force say they are pleased to work along with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Assistant Commissioner of Police responsible for Human Resources and Training, Delarice Ferguson, expressing that initiatives as such is in the mandate of the police force.
It actually aligns with the Commissioner's policing plan for 2022, one of the priorities that speak to youth engagement. And so we feel that this is a step in the right direction, and we are geared towards making the program itself a success. All hands are on deck in Grand Bahama. We have the Assistant Commissioner here who has readied his staff along with the Director of Training here, Assistant Superintendent Delavo, who's ready to receive those cadets once they arrive in January.
The training will be facilitated by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Disaster Reconstructive Authority, the Ministry of Social Services, the Drug Council, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
In other news, former chairman of the Grand Lucayan Resort, Michael Scott, believes that the airport is critical to the future of the Grand Lucayan's purchase. Our Simone Davis has more in this report.
Echoing the sentiments of many, the former Grand Lucayan chairman says he doesn't believe Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited can secure a sale for the property without a commitment to the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport.
Unless and until there is a firm commitment on the reconstruction of the airport at Freeport.
Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, announced the sale of the resort to Electra America Hospitality Group for $100 million back in May of this year. 6 months later, Lucayan Renewal Holdings announced in a statement earlier this month that the deal had collapsed. The Davis administration has acknowledged the announcement and said it will not name another buyer for the Freeport property until a deal is final.
You cannot expect, and this is the problem I found, you cannot expect people to developers, hotel developers who invest money with a view to making a return on that money. You cannot expect them to outlay a substantial sum of money, such as what I understood was $100 million for the hotel.
Scott, who headed Lucayan Renewal Holdings under their previous administration, doubles down with his assertion that obtaining U.S. pre-clearance status at the airport is critical for visitors and the future buyer to be sure that they would gain a return on their investment.
No one is going to commit that kind of investment unless they have a method to recover their outlay, meaning a revenue stream.
The Grand Lucayan sale was also expected to generate thousands of jobs for Bahamians, and Lucayan Renewal Holdings Group says they are committed to finding another buyer, closing on a deal, and fulfilling its commitment to the Bahamian people. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Meanwhile, despite the pullout of Electra America Hospitality Group from the Grand Lucayan deal, investor confidence on Grand Bahama remains high, as President and CEO of international development company the Dweller Group say investing in Grand Bahama and opting to build a world-class Six Senses resort on the island was the best decision his team could have made, and he encourages other investors to follow suit.
I think that Grand Bahama actually has the most value over any island in the Bahamas in the sense its proximity from Florida combined with the existing infrastructure that's here, then the beautiful beaches and everything that is here naturally. But then I think most of all the people here are amazing, and I think they're really excited about the progress that's to come.
Well, in other news, Pharmachem Technologies releasing a statement on allegations brought against them by the termination of a number of employees last week. 3 of them sat down with our news team expressing their disappointment in the way they were treated after declining to accept a change in their shift schedule. The former employees claiming that they were unlawfully and wrongfully terminated and has sought legal action. Tonight, Pharmachem is responding through a written statement. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more in this report.
Last week, Friday, former employees of Pharmachem Technologies told our news team that they were allegedly terminated because they refused to accept a change in their work schedule, which would cause them to work more hours with no additional pay. While Pharmachem has issued a press release in response to those claims and to clarify their position on that decision. The release reads in part that the company recently completed the construction of a new multi-product manufacturing to support a bright and sustainable future for the company by manufacturing the next generation of active pharmaceutical ingredients for products to fight HIV/AIDS, war, and other infectious diseases. It further stated that it is not unusual for employees to be placed on 24/7 shift rotation. In fact, more than 50% of the present employee complement, including production, quality controls, and utilities, are currently working on the 12-hour shift rotation. The release continued that prior to bringing online the new multi-purpose manufacturing plant, management sensitized the impacted employees about the need to realign its operations and begin the transition process through a series of meetings and dialogue with its employees as far back as 2021 of December. It further explained that all employees who work hours are being realigned will continue to be compensated in accordance with the labor laws of the Bahamas and their contract of employment. This transition does not involve any loss of benefits to employees. The statement concludes that, pursuant to the terms of employment contracts, the company exercised its rights to vary the working hours of the employees to accord with its business needs at this time. PCT is confident that it has not breached the contract of employment that it has with its employees. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Yolanda. Well, in this report, our Raven Davis speaks to the family members of the island's latest murder victim. They express that coming to grips with the death of their loved one has not been an easy task. Now, some 4 days after the incident, they say in the absence of closure, they are holding on to hope that the perpetrator will be brought to justice.
A ribbon lies over the door of the family home of the island's latest homicide victim. Grief-stricken family members telling us today that he is 32-year-old Curtis Mizik. Brothers Stanley Mizik Jr. and David Gibson sit alongside their mother, who was too heavy-hearted to speak. They described the father of three as a high-spirited, unfortunate guy, having narrowly escaped from death a few times prior.
He was known, he was lovable, he was caring. Curtis just was Curtis. He had a couple incidents where he was shot, he was stabbed, he was sedated in a coma. You know what I mean? So that's why I said he was lucky.
But recounting that fateful night, Mizik says he was alerted by a series of unusual phone calls at around 11:54 p.m. It was family members calling to share the gut-wrenching news.
My phone don't ring that late, and I didn't answer the cell phone. And then when my mom called me at 12:02, she told me that she received a text that my brother got shot. And after that, my cousin called me right after my mom and told me that my brother was headshot. And my whole body and things started shaking. I was like, whoa.
Mizik says he and his mother eventually made their way to the scene of the incident, which was cordoned off with yellow tape. Unable to get a closer view, he says he anxiously awaited word from local authorities, who subsequently told him the victim was in fact his brother. Now, according to police reports, on Friday, November 18, shortly before midnight, police control room received a report of a shooting incident at a business establishment in Hunters. Preliminary reports revealing that the victim was approached by a lone gunman who discharged a weapon in his direction, shooting him multiple times about the body. EMS attended the scene and found no signs of life. Now, some 4 days later, the brothers expressed that coping with the tragedy has been exceedingly difficult, especially for the grieving mother, who hasn't been able to sleep nor eat.
And we've been grieving and trying to find a way to help my mom and sister eating, because she hasn't been eating and all them type of stuff, and she have a little condition, medical condition.
That really hurt me the most, because me and them were kind of the closest too. That's what they saying. So I like just talking, but it's making me bring up stuff and feel it.
In the end, Mizik, who masked his true emotions behind dark sunglasses, says in the absence of immediate closure, he and his family are holding on to hope that justice will prevail.
I don't want this murder to be like a cold case. I want the perpetrators, killer or murderers be brought to justice. And God don't sleep. God has the last say of everything.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, a local clergyman is speaking out against the violence in our community. Senior pastor of A Call to Holiness Ministries Agape House, Apostle Anthony Grant, says the Bahamas has been grappling with the spirit of homicide for many years. He adds that there is a major national crime crisis in the country, and people are living in fear of being gunned down in the crossfire.
There seems to be no consequence for their action. You know, like I always say, perception is truth to the one who's perceiving it. You know, so if I perceive that there's no consequence for my action, I have no reservations. I have no hesitations about getting involved in the activities, having a gun, shooting somebody, because there seems to be, I'm not saying there isn't, but there seems to be no consequence. Because the reality is, a lot of the young men that are being shot on the streets today, I can brace it on. Out on bail.
Apostle Grant says it is important to take note of what has worked for other countries, especially those with lower crime rates. He believes stiffer penalties are needed.
We need to begin to look at how do we have more rigid laws so that people know when I commit a crime with a gun, I am going to pay, and I'm going to pay big. You know, and then the other side of that is, we don't produce guns in the Bahamas. We don't make guns in the Bahamas. You know, we don't have major gun dealers in the Bahamas. But all these crimes are with guns. And so the law for transporting guns, bringing guns, smuggling guns into this country ought to be stiff.
He admonishes young men to find positive alternatives to solve their problems, adding that a successful and more meaningful way of life is available. Well, when we come back, the Grand Bahama Resilience Center hosting 2 special guests this past weekend. The details of that story and the latest in sports when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Shop the 30% off Black Friday sale going on now at Pandora, Port Lucayan.
Hi, I'm Wes. I like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
Park and Shop is having a Thanksgiving sale, 25% off excluding all red tag items. And Dollar Plus has 20% off all Christmas decorations, November 24th through the 30th.
Niceness.
Yeah, watch this.
How you doing there, bad man? You can't let me, darling.
Get.
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 Yeah, you think guy's a dog ain't, but get. Give me this thing, girl.
Get up.
Hey, get him. I ain't get nothing.
Start, you stay there and let them rob me?
I'm gonna say mine up in this that pays us. I got. Hold on. But I do that, no. I get a set. That can't give me that right.
Just a reminder to members of the public that when depositing monies in the bank or any depository location, check your surroundings to be aware of any suspicious persons or vehicles lurking in the area with the intention of committing a crime. I'm advising you to seek the assistance of the police or perhaps an armored truck. Let's continue to work together to create safer communities.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. There may be some glimmer of hope for the doors of an organization that focuses on mental health to remain open. Spouse of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne-Marie Davis, and the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Munro, along with the Ambassador Winston Pinnock, visiting and touring the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, which opened back in 2020 following Hurricane Dorian. The aim was to cater to the well-being of residents, both emotionally and mentally. Recently, officials of the center made an appeal for assistance to remain open, and during the special visit, Mrs. Davis along with the minister shared why this organization is still needed on Grand Bahama.
What I like most is the wholesomeness of the Resilience Center, all that it offers to make a person whole, to develop the person inside and out, to give them the help they need mentally, to help them with their mental challenges that they may have, to teach them life skills like sewing and needlework, crocheting. You can use the sewing and all that to be an entrepreneur later on. It teaches you, I'm sure it teaches you cooking, self-defense, which is very much needed. To make you feel that you have some strength and personality, and that you can walk and feel safe.
Meanwhile, Minister Munro says his ministry puts forward community centers like the Resilience Center, blending components of addressing mental health.
We've seen, for instance, an upswing in suicides, which means that people have reached the level of desperation that they see no point in going on living, and a place like this clearly addresses those issues.
I believe that centers and facilities like these, like the minister alluded to earlier, should be places that the government resource to get work done instead of trying to do a lot of the stuff themselves. That's just my view, and so I'm sharing that thought publicly. I think that places like these deserve to be supported fully by government.
Now, Mrs. Davis also says that she will work to assist in seeking donors to keep the Resilience Center doors open. In other news, the Sunset Pilot Club of Grand Bahama making a timely donation of safety life vests and first aid kits to Basra. A small group of members from the Sunset Club, including first-time co-ed president of the club, Franklin McCoy, was on hand for the exchange.
This has been a plan in the weekend since the new pilot there, and was enormously picked by the Sunset Pilot Club of Grand Bahama, the Sunset Pilot Club of Grand Bahama membership division, to assist Basra, because they have the Northern Bahamas with sea and rescue and volunteers. Well, this year we give back the caregivers, homeless. We have respite at the children's home. I had a respite at Hugh Campbell for the preschool students also, and going forward next year, on my birthday, I'll have a respite at Hugh Campbell Primary School for the preschool section. I spend my birthday there, the whole day.
Now, the Bahamas at Sea Rescue Association, better known as Basra, whose mandate is to save persons in distress at sea, is solely manned and operated by volunteers. Some of those volunteers, including Director of Community Engagement Jillian Muid, was on hand to receive the life vests and medical kits.
We're very thankful for it, and we are especially thankful that it's another community organization. We're really looking to partner with more people and more organizations in the community to increase safety and security on this island, as well as other initiatives. I think it's really important that every household does have life jackets and safety equipment inside of it, so this will definitely help on our rescue missions.
Well, small business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs can now look forward to the Grand Bahama Port Authority Invest, the Grand Bahamas Emerge Grand Bahama Small Business Symposium. It is a two-day event featuring thought-provoking content and game-changing conversations by the country's most influential business leaders, trendsetters, and dynamic motivational speakers. This year's theme, Embracing New Frontiers.
Since launching in 2014, it has evolved as a yearly event driven by one goal: to educate, empower, and expose SMEs to opportunities that help them build strong businesses, create employment opportunities, while growing and diversifying Grand Bahamas economy.
It is my hope that the participants, those who come to be with us, will glean a heck of a lot which will encourage them in their own business and development strategies.
In addition to the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, Bahamas Development Bank, Access Accelerator, and Canoe are also partners to put on this event.
With the objective of really providing a forum for our small businesses to be nurtured, to be informed, and to flourish.
That helps us to introduce the emerging business community to what the digital platform has to offer for them in Grand Bahama.
To be a part of that means that we're a part of perhaps something great, something that we need, something that is going to be new.
Now, this event is slated for Monday, November 28th to Tuesday, November 29th at the Pelican Bay Canal House. You can register at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce at 352-8329. Your Tuesday evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. We do have some updates from the Mako aquatic swim competition at the YMCA pool this past weekend, but let's begin with primary school basketball at the St. George's Gymnasium.
The storylines continue to build as the Jimmy Cormack Keith Mullings Primary School Basketball League continues at the St. George's Gymnasium. The Freeport Gospel Chapel Eagles and BMES Warriors went down to the wire. Trailing late, the Warriors' comeback effort will fall short, though, as the Eagles held on for the 6-5 victory. Here's head coach Oren McPhee.
I believe that these guys took this win with a deep breath. I'm glad we came up with the win.
The Moismore Raccoons fell behind early but clawed back to eventually defeat the Sunland Stingers 9-7, much to the relief of coach Richie Adderley.
I think they got rattled in the first half because we were down. They were poised and they came back and they ended up coming up with the victory.
The Walter Parker Pacers remain undefeated after routing the Freeport Primary Conquerors 15-5. And Coach Denzel Knowles feels confident about the team's future.
We're hoping to be a championship contending team. Hopefully we can bring it all home for Walter Parker.
In the early contest, the Hugh Campbell Hornets made their season debut and blanked the Lewis Yard Eagles 19-0. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Switching gears now in sports, the West Grand Bahama Youth Development Association is in talks with movers and shakers on the renaming of the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium in honor of former parliamentarian Lindy Russell. Here's Norris Bain.
I endorse the naming of the gym after Pastor Lindy Russell. I know he didn't do all that he's done for that, but you are deserving of it. And the good thing about it, you won't have any say of whether you're taking it or not. You have to take it. Alrighty, so you can shake your head, know all you want. It's coming. Alright, and all of those of us that are in position to make that happen, we need to make sure that happen while you live. Alrighty.
And finally in sports, some updates from the Mako Aquatics swim meet on the weekend at the YMCA pool. Ellie Gibson set new records in the 50 back and 50 fly in the boys 13-14 age group. Kamaya Sanders set a new record in the 11-12 girls 50 breaststroke in a time of 37.40 seconds. Zoe Williamson also set a new record in a 13-14 girls 200 butterfly, and Zaria Watson set a new record in a 13-14 girls 100 IM in a time of 1 minute 15.30 seconds. At the end of the swim competition, Ellie Gibson and Zoe Williamson were the recipients of the Charlotte Pyram Scholarship Awards. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Shop Divas 242 for all your holiday apparel and beauty supplies. Conveniently located in Britannia Mini Mall and East Sunrise Shopping Plaza. Divas.
This Thanksgiving, reserve your table at Off the Deep Edge Restaurant. They're serving up a special Thanksgiving combo for only $25. RSVP at 352-1664 or WhatsApp 807-3400. Off the Deep Edge Restaurant.
It's the coconut got this. Cocoa skin driven madness. Juiciness, ice the back. This sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey. Addict, all the men love me.
Flavored beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
Bad little lady, yeah, she be driving me crazy. When she licking her lips and moving them hips like coming, baby. I wanna take it down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Quinton Flash Gordon celebrating his birthday. You are our Facebook friend of the day, and we hope that you're enjoying your birthday and wishing you many more. We also want to send a special happy birthday out to Alexander Zodumas. Brando made sure I remember. He brought me a paper, but I got you, buddy. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, FTX's swift demise. A luxury West Bay project eyes opening day. Adventures on the seas. And running rebels off to a good start. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. We begin with further developments in the FTX digital markets fallout. And this as the Securities Commission of the Bahamas has gotten a court order to secure a right of an indemnity and the right to be reimbursed for expenses reasonably incurred by the Commission. This in connection with the regulatory action to safeguard the digital assets of FTX digital markets. Under another court order on November 12th, the Commission seized FDM's assets for safekeeping. The court order secured yesterday confirms that the Commission, as noted, is entitled to be indemnified under the law, and FDM shall bear the cost incurred by the Commission in safeguarding those assets for the benefit of FDM's customers and creditors. However, no payments may be made to the Commission without the Supreme Court's prior approval. Meantime, lawyers representing FTX in its Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings calling the company's swift demise the most abrupt and difficult collapse in the history of corporate America. According to a Yahoo Finance Online article, newly appointed counsel to FTX's management, James Browley, described the matter in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Delaware this morning as a worldwide organization that was ran effectively as the personal fiefdom of Sam Bankman-Fried. The article also cited that FTX made $300 million worth of real estate purchases here in the Bahamas. In today's hearing, FTX's legal counsel described the transition when its founder and former CEO signed over corporate control of FTX at petition date as an emperor has no close moment. During the hearing, the FTX legal team highlighted that the company has a $1.24 billion cash balance and said it is working with an international range of financial investigators to locate and safeguard the company's remaining assets. According to a spreadsheet shared the day before its bankruptcy petition, the company held approximately $900 million in liquid crypto and $5.4 in illiquid venture capital investments against $9 billion in liabilities. Well, in other news, the long-awaited Goldwynn Resort in Western New Providence prepares to welcome guests early next year as it looks to enhance the local economy and tourism product. Aljaviz Munnings has the details.
With an impressive $2 billion in property and assets under its umbrella, Goldwynn Resorts and Residences in Cable Beach is the Wynn family's first luxury boutique property. And the views definitely tell its story. The prime Western New Providence location is split right in the center. 81 residential suites comprising studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms, as well as luxurious 3 bedrooms. Then there are 79 residential suites that will serve as full-time residences. Goldwynn Resorts and Residences CEO Don Adams confirms the first guests will receive their keys February 1st, 2023.
The residential side, we're pretty much sold out. We've got a few units left. We've got a few units left, but not many. They're definitely a target for investors for sure. And we see that about 78% of our market will come from the eastern seaboard of the U.S., about another 15% from Canada. So those will be our 2 major markets that we'll focus on.
Goldwynn developers recently gave Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, a grand tour of the property. He met with staff and was in awe of the facility's luxurious amenities.
The workmanship is impeccable, exquisite, and I'm sure that the residents here, visitors here, will have an exquisite experience. It demonstrates the confidence that the developer has in the Bahamas, and the fact and the confidence that he has that this will work. It will all go well for our economy because I'm advised that they will be hiring at least 200 or plus workers here on the property. They're about to start another phase of this next door, which is another boon for the economy. And for that, I just would like to thank the investors and the developer for their continuing confidence in this country.
And the project's expected to propel the country's tourism product.
Starting in February, we're looking to ramp up slowly. We want to make sure that we do it right, that we find our stride. We want to create a truly customer-centric experience. So we're going to be a little bit apprehensive to just go guns a-blazing, but we're going to target for an overall average for year one. We want to target at about 65% occupancy.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Well, a dream realized for one local entrepreneur who, along with a team, poured dedication and sacrifice into a vision they believe only marks the beginning.
This is our vision. This is our future. This is Cruising Adventures.
A life-changing trip to Cancun, Mexico for one local entrepreneur keen on introducing a different type of boating experience to the Bahamas. Fast forward from then to now, and Cruising Adventures President Demetrius Hepburn defied critics and on Monday fulfilled his dream of owning a two-seater speedboat business. And while the initial idea was to simply purchase the boats in Mexico and bring them back home, it turned out he learned to build them, and within weeks. With the help of a few close friends committed to learning a whole new set of skills, together, Hepburn's vision took shape.
We went through unforgettable experience, trials and tribulations building these boats. Purchasing materials, wasting materials was all a part of our growing pain. God had given me a vision and purpose in life. He also gave me the ability to remain innately motivated through the toughest times, even through issues with same insoluble. My vision for this company is to branch out to as many family islands as possible, creating jobs and opportunities for Bahamians in the tourism market with these mini speedboats.
And the company plans aren't just limited to the Bahamas.
In the very near future, our brand will be located in countries like Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, where tourism is at a present height.
On hand for Monday's grand opening, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, who lauded Hepburn for sticking with the mission, assuring that whatever his government can do, it will to assist with the business's success, and that includes speaking with those directly tied to tourism, like the hotel and cruise industries. The latter goes hand in hand with the Prime Minister's vision of all sports being owned by Bahamians. Well, members of the small business community coming together today to receive the latest information and pointers from industry insiders on how to ensure the sustainability of their businesses as they navigate the issues impacting the sector. Fern Carey has the story.
This week's Small Business Forum is designed to update entrepreneurs on emerging trends in the digital market space while equipping them with the latest information on diversity and inclusion in the sector, including the regulatory framework as it relates to small business development. Spearheaded by the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center, Executive Director Samantha Roll indicated that the response has been tremendous. She's also hoping that participants will take advantage of networking opportunities while being inspired by new developments in the sector.
We got an overwhelming response from the public, our clients, the public, and truly appreciative of that. And it shows that there are persons who are extremely excited about what's happening this month and what is planned moving forward in terms of assisting and supporting the MSME sector, the small business sector here in the Bahamas. So today is filled with, a number of experts, clients, entrepreneurs, and exciting talent.
One of the forum speakers, Island Pay Group Limited Managing Director Jeffrey Beckles, is encouraging more small businesses to make changes to their operations now in order to mitigate the impact of hyperinflation.
As always, we try to look at the structure of the organization, the structure of the operation. One of the greatest impacts is costs. How do we make adjustments in our costs to mitigate the impact? And then at the same time, we still have to live. So while we're talking about the impact of cost cost-cutting measures. We also need to focus on how do we expand our customer base, because we need that revenue still coming in. People still need to live. People still need services. So it's a balancing between improving our revenue streams, expanding revenue streams, and also controlling costs.
Beckles also provided more insight on a tourist app created by his company that he says is reaping huge dividends, particularly during this festive season.
Single month since we launched, we've been out about 3.5 weeks. We've had well over 1,500 tourists download the wallet because they plan to come here for at some point during the Thanksgiving break or the holiday break, and that's exciting for us.
Business Forum organizers say plans are already underway for next year's event. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Bahamas Power and Light Company's hedging trade still a source of contention, with Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard now calling on Minister of Works, the Honourable Alfred Sayers, to resign. This on the heels of Sayers recently disclosing in the House of Assembly that he and the Prime Minister knew about recommendations proposed to save BPL millions from the company's fuel surcharge increase. And the F&M leader says both initially denied receiving the information. Well, the wolf crying again is how Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis responded to the F&M leader's comments on the issue. In fact, the Prime Minister clarified his position on receiving any documents on the execution of those BPL hedge fund trades.
I saw no documents about that. Only this weekend, I was provided with some information concerning that, which I am now assessing to determine all this misstatements about what actually went on. What I do know is that the Financial Secretary had some views about it proceeding, and I think those were the views that were adopted.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISIX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time. Yeah, my internet's so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles done cooking. Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early. Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3. Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me. But it's so fast I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
We need to save.
Be happy! Save at KFC with the one-piece chicken box fill-up for only $5.95. Enjoy genuine savings and the genuine flavor of KFC chicken fried to golden perfection with crispy fries, a buttery biscuit, and an ice-cold Pepsi. Only at KFC Nassau.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
On Wednesday, both houses of Parliament will meet in a joint session in celebration of the 60th anniversary of the women's suffrage movement. On November 26, 1962, women exercised their right to vote for the first time. As members from both chambers come together tomorrow, they will celebrate the achievements of women over the years. The last joint sitting of Parliament was in 2012 in observance of the 50th anniversary of suffrage movement. The United States Homeland Security and the Royal Bahamas Police Force joint operation resulting in 36-year-old wanted suspect Juven Eric Sawyer, also known as Juven Eric Strawn, alias Juvie of Bimini, being arrested and deported. The Sherman Lane resident was arrested in South Florida on June 9th by U.S. Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Police report that 9:30 this morning, Strawn landed in New Providence accompanied by police officers. He will be flown to Grand Bahama, where he will be questioned by police there in connection with an outstanding murder, possession of firearms and ammunition, and possession of dangerous drugs. The police force thanks the U.S. Homeland Security Investigation Liaison Team for their efforts and looks forward to their continued partnership. A large multi-agency policing operation across Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands ends with some 163 vehicles being stopped, 7 vehicles being seized and towed, and 34 tickets being issued for various offenses. Meantime, 24 people were detained and taken to that island's detention center. This video of a hog being beaten by a man going viral on social media. Now, we're not going to show you the gruesome act, but we understand the incident stemmed from a traffic mishap involving the animal. Bahamas Humane Society's General Manager, Inspector Percy Grant, is convinced these types of people endure psychological problems that should be addressed immediately.
Obviously, somebody who could do that to an animal like that and show off about doing it really can do it to a human being. And this is the state in which we live, and we really need to look at ourselves in the mirror to see how far we have dropped, and to really imagine, and to put something like that on, and then on social media, and proud of it, and excited about doing it. And so that's the mind of a sick person, and I think they need to have some psychiatric help.
The Bahamas Humane Society is hoping the government can further strengthen animal protection laws to avoid such incidents from reoccurring.
We need more, would be needed enforcement, and like anything else, we need enforcement with the acts. We need, the minute things like that happen, it should be, the same way how somebody holding a gun is located right away. That is the same way that should happen. And we feel that, it's just something that we need to look at very seriously, because if you stop that kind of action, then you're going to stop another crime.
The Children's Emergency Hostel this year marking its 60th anniversary, a feat marked by triumphs but a fair share of trials. Today, the McKinney Avenue home to numerous wards of the state is a gang in need of help. Carla Palmer reports.
Still recovering from the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which further worsened conditions previously being experienced at the Children's Emergency Hostel, President Arthur Peet says he and his team are doing all they can to keep the doors of this special children's home for residents 7 months to 12 years old opened and operational.
We are having some real dry time now, and since the epidemic, whatever support we got has diminished, and right now our overdraft facility at the bank is threatening us just to keep the institution current.
We have experienced a tremendous drop in the amount of donations that we receive from corporate Bahamas, as well as personnel and international donors.
Charlene Ferguson is the home's business manager And she too highlights the financial position of the children's home as dire.
It has caused us to not be able to deal with our overheads, particularly our utility bills, and keeping what we need here for the children pertaining to food supplies, cleaning supplies. It's been a challenge financially, and we rely heavily on the funds that we receive from the Bahamas government, which is a subsidiary that we receive every year. Our overheads, particularly utility bills like BPL, national insurance, they became priorities for us, and what funds that we have to be used for those purposes. So other purposes such as food supplies, we depend on the general public.
We get a subsistence from the government half yearly, but sometimes in the middle of the half year that runs out, and we need public support. Our facility, our need right now would is up to $50,000 to keep us afloat until the government makes its next payment in January.
During the time that we were not going through the pandemic, we would have funds in access to funds that we can do other things like take the kids on trips, purchase the necessities such as the clothing.
For persons wishing to assist, here are some options.
And they can put money in a food bank, the agencies, and we can draw down, because people are skeptical about giving money. But we have an account with most of the food services people, and they can put money there, or you can put money in our bank account.
Anyone interested in donating to the Emergency Children's Hostel can submit funds to its First Caribbean bank account on Shirley Street. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, do you believe the Bahamas scrutinizes foreign investors well enough? Yes or no? And to participate, simply log on to our website, that's www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. As always, thanks for participating. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Hey, baby, you back? Man, it's so good to be home. All I do is eat, shop, and party.
Well, I know you left all of your money over there. I hope you left COVID there too. Anyway, you could get your COVID test for free.
COVID test for what?
Yes, there is rapid antigen COVID tests for anyone who travel who wants to get one.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't sick. What I need a COVID test for?
You don't have to have symptoms. We just want to be sure that the only thing you brought back with you is what is inside that suitcase.
You say it free?
You do not even have to make an appointment. And guess what? You have your results back within 15 minutes.
Wait, you say it quick, convenient, and it free? Thanks. Let me go find one of these testing sites.
Message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
NBA League Pass is the coolest way to watch the hottest game there is. When threes rain down and superstars heat up. When clutch jumpers splash and your team is fire. You'll be there for up to 40 games a week. Any way you want to watch. NBA League Pass. Order now.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotiaplan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win
own.
a $3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotiaplan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotiaplan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotiaplan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Are you a contractor or new homeowner? Maybe you need a few pieces of lumber for your DIY projects. Welcome to Capital Lumber, the newest building materials company in the Bahamas. Located on Parkgate Road, Nassau, helping you to maximize your savings on lumber, cement, shingles, tools, and much more. Your one-stop shop for all your building essentials. With free delivery to the mail booth. Visit us today. Capital Lumber. Build strong.
The #1 high school basketball showcase in America is back for another year. Last year, we brought you guys the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Dallas, Texas, the Red River Hoop Fest in Texarkana, and the Holiday Hoop Fest in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our series has brought through some elite-level talent by the likes of Trae Young, NBA All-Star, Marcus Smart, De'Aaron Fox, and the list goes on and on. This year, we're super excited to let you guys know we're adding a new stop to the Hoop Fest basketball series. I hope you guys are ready, because we're bringing some of the top high school basketball players in America right here to the Nassau, Bahamas for the Hoop Fest in Paradise. 4 of the top high school teams in the U.S. will be right here competing against each other. When? December 16th and 17th. You can expect some sharp shooting, high flying, and straight up gritty basketball at this year's Hoop Fest in Paradise. December 16th and 17th, 4 of the top high school teams in America will be right here in Nassau, Bahamas. Will you be here?
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 days of fun. Get your 20s ready because there's something for everyone. That's right. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center on Mackey Street in the former Q Club building is having a 3-day Binorama. November 25th, 26th, and 28th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Anything you want in the bin, from a selection of house and kitchenware items, games, toys, and electronics for just $20. So come on down because this is an event you don't want to miss.
The voluntary work of community members from the Family Islands and New Providence recognized this evening during a ceremony at Super Club's Breezes. As our Desmond Saunders tells us, the event, part of activities marking National Volunteers Month. Good evening, Desmond.
Well, a pleasant good evening with Hostel and a pleasant good evening, Bahamas. Coming to you live from the Super Club's Breezes Resort, 20 outstanding Bahamians who contribute to the social welfare of the country, given high honors, will be given high honors here this evening, along with 10 community organizations, part of the Governor General's Volunteer Committee initiative. As you know, this was formed in 2019. The Governor General formed the Volunteer Committee 2019. to spark community initiatives in the Bahamas and to promote volunteerism in the Bahamas. So this is part or an extension of the committee's work here at the Super Clubs Breezes Resort. Joining me on the broadcast this evening, I have a committee member, Jack Thompson. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. Very well, thanks.
As indicated, 20 outstanding Bahamians being given high honors along with 10 community organizations. How did this all come together? And give us an idea of some of the persons and organizations that are going to be honored.
We thought, the committee thought that story after story, wonderful contributions after wonderful contributions, we ought to, during this month of Thanksgiving, and during the volunteerism month, pause to salute and to say thank you to those who give so much. Look for no return. Our unsung heroes, persons who just poured themselves into their respective communities. What is significant about this is that we've reached the family islands. You heard just now Rum Key, San Salvador, Cat Island. And so this is very, very important because oftentimes we just look at those who work in New Providence. We're so, like they say, Nassau-centric or New Providence-centric. But it's just so wonderful to have honorees who flew, who came in, who traveled for this occasion. And then we're going to honor organizations who would have given so much. I mean, this list is by no means exhaustive. There are hundreds out there, but we thought we ought to. Someone said the journey of 1,000 miles begins
with the first step. Jack Thompson, thank you very much. Jack Thompson joining me on the broadcast, a committee member for the Governor General's Volunteer Initiative. As you can hear, probably you can see behind me the presentation of awards going on right now. The Vice Chairman presenting awards to several volunteers and several community organizations. And in just a few minutes, the Governor General will bring remarks which will be the tip-off or the keynote for this award ceremony here at the Super Clubs Breezes Resort, Cable Beach. Back to you, McKinley, in the studios.
Well, thanks, Desmond. In other news, an entrepreneur has come up with an award-winning idea that's sure to leave you putting your best foot forward. Anthony Smith has that story.
When Randia Coakley first came up with the idea for Petty in a Bag, there was one thing she knew for certain.
It's going to get interesting.
What she could not predict, however, was that her idea would be 1 in 100.
Was not expecting it, was excited. I was very excited because that meant, oh, yes, more people believe into the brand.
So much so that the young entrepreneur's concept received second prize at BTC's Regional Innovation Pitch Challenge. Beating out 100 other competitors from around the Caribbean, Coakley, the only Bahamian finalist out of 5. Like many of the new startups in 2022, it was a business born out of the pandemic, and one, like others, born over Zoom.
We did was doing an Instagram live on how to do foot care, and it was a physical exfoliant, and learning how to create your own at home foot exfoliant was like doing after that. I was like, oh, this is fun. People enjoy this, and I love foot care. So it was then it's like, let's get into more water-based solution exfoliants. Exfoliant you could do without the physical, and now we came up with Petty in a Bag.
Petty in a Bag, according to Coakley, is just that, a pedicure in a bag. An exfoliating foot mask that's quite unorthodox from your regular visit to the spa, but one that apparently still does the trick.
They were like, my feet is peeling. Like, this is like very grossly satisfying.
And now armed with a grant from her big BTC win, Coakley says she's setting her sights on going global.
I wanted to grow for more people to take time in self-care, especially in the season when persons are always doing for others and don't take time for yourself. And most people don't realize like you're on your feet so much that you don't take care of one of the most important aspect. Every weight, physical, mental, you're on your feet. So foot care is a necessity.
And at this pace, she's certainly set to nail it. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Anthony Smith.
Teach the Children to Serve, the theme of the Bahamas National Children's Commission week-long events and the primary reason many adults gathered in Rawson Square. Endorsed by the Ministry of Education and Prime Minister since 1995, the organization's objective is to let children know they are loved and matter so that they can become model citizens locally and abroad. Founder and president of Comprehensive Family Ministries, educator Canon Harry Ward, shares what prompted him to start the ministry.
In 1995, I became very concerned that given the multiplicity of our radio stations and therefore of the talk shows, and the fact that there were so many of us who really were highlighting the negative. It just came to me that, anybody can identify problems, but what about the solutions? And it struck me as an educator that we really will bring about solution by getting into the minds of our children and bringing transformation there.
The Zonta Club of Nassau continuing to do its work throughout the country and spread awareness regarding gender-based violence. Those efforts include hanging bows in the Centerville community to kick off 16 days of activism.
While we are tying ribbons, these ribbons represent our fight against violence against women and girls, and violence in particular. So doing this 16 days of activism, which starts on the 25th of November to the 10th of December, the Zonta Club of New Providence or the Zonta Club of Nassau, both clubs, we are having a number of events. So we return back to the park. This is the park in Centerville, East Avenue and Arundel Street. Next week, Saturday, where we will have a community event where we'll have speakers talking about violence against women and boys. We'll have former victims. We will have entertainment. We will have food. And we will just bring awareness to the plight against violence.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Best of the best. Man, we up in the Bahamian country. We up in Arcadia. We got the best in the Bahamian food. Boat racing all day in the water. Best of the best. Bring me the best. Bring me the best. Send me, show me. Only the best of the best. Man, bring me up boat. Ah, well, ain't no more slopping up now. We outside December 1st to the 4th. The best of the best we got on Monaco Beach. We can find out who's the fastest in Class A, B, C, and E. Bring me up boat.
Welcome to the all-new CBS Pro Store. We'll be introducing various products such as plywood, sheetrock, metal stud, and a whole array of bulk construction products, so you can expect the same high level of service that you have been receiving at CBS Bahamas. We originally opened the store in 1980 as our retail location. Hearing from our customers that they wanted us to cater more to contractors, we decided to open the CBS Pro Store here at Robinson Road. So come by and visit us at CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road, where we can help you build beautiful.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pfeiffer. BTC, through our parent company, Liberty Latin America, is participating in the company-wide commercial graduate program. It's a program where a graduate student from each country where LLA operates is chosen and given real-world work experience and training across the company's varied fields and locations. Nicholas Hudson is the Bahamian graduate student in the program.
I would say being an LLA graduate is much like being that student in class that the teachers see the most potential in. So for a while I wasn't able to get a job, and I was searching, looking through LinkedIn, and I saw a job posting from LLA. And when I saw it, I looked at all the requirements and everything. I was like, this might be the perfect job for me. So I applied. We went through the application process, then we had interviews. And I didn't know how serious it was until after the interviews. And we had an assessment thing afterwards. And it was about 4 of us in that assessment. And it was a few tests and scenarios and stuff. And I went there with like all the confidence to make sure that I just applied myself and get the best position I could possibly do. And when I came through and afterward, I was just sitting in the room waiting on my ride. And then 2 of the actual representatives, they came to me and they told me in that moment, I didn't even receive a call. They told me in that moment that I was the commercial graduate. And my response, I was just shocked. I couldn't stop smiling. I was excited. And from there, everything just went amazing. We had the onboarding process in Panama. And that whole trip was amazing. I got to meet other graduates from other countries, from Puerto Rico, Barbados, Jamaica, even from Panama. And I met a lot of the team members at LLA headquarters. And overall, it was amazing. We had a lot of networking opportunities. They provided a lot of support for us, and they let us know that they'll be with us throughout the whole process.
We are making opportunities available for young people to not only get fitted to join us here at BTC, but to compete globally and shine. For more information, visit our website, btcbahamas.com. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corbell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Officers over in Exuma are investigating the circumstances surrounding a structural fire on Over Yonder Key that's some 6 miles north of Staniel Key in the Exumas. Officers were notified about the blaze, which had reportedly destroyed an engineering building shortly before 8 last night. Police say no casualties were reported. Now, a team of officers from Georgetown, Exuma, and from the fire department here in New Providence were expected to travel to Exuma today to help with the investigations into that matter. The country's disaster preparedness has secured a $10 million boost from the United States government, more specifically its Department of Defense's Northern Command. Director of Logistics and Engineering, U.S. Major General Connie Jenkins, making her first official trip to the Bahamas last week. At the time, she donated a field hospital, temporary shelters, communication equipment, transportable armories, generators, and floodwater rescue boats valued at approximately $5 million. The equipment gives the Bahamas the ability to rapidly deploy necessary supplies from New Providence to the Family Islands for humanitarian and disaster response. Here's Major General Jenkins explaining more details in an interview with U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Yusha Pitts at the U.S. Embassy's headquarters in Nassau.
That's going to be portable, so it can go out to any of the Family Islands and be useful in case of any sort of a critical situation that they might have, where we can just move the hospital to them, bring the medical facility and the trained personnel in, and perform any sort of medical requirements that are on site, so that we don't have to move all of the people to the hospital. So that's a really powerful tool.
A Bahamas striping group of companies teams up with Exuma's Sandals Emerald Bay Resort in Exuma to deliver smiles to thousands this holiday season. Both organizations and a team of volunteers will dish out hot meals to Exuma residents on Wednesday, part of an annual give back. Managing Director of Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is Alan Albury.
Typically, we do this for the on Christmas Day, but we've partnered to do the initiative for Thanksgiving this year, and we're really excited to have the commitment of Sandals. As a company, we provide all of the food items and the food packaging for the meals, and we partner with Sandals that bring in their wonderful chefs and team members to prepare the meals, and we package them, and then they're dispersed through a number of local organizations to ensure that the meals are being delivered to those persons who are infirmed, who are at home, confined in one way or the other, to ensure that we are delivering a hot meal. And for us, it's not so much about, the meals. It's really the heart of giving.
Sandals General Manager Jeremy Button says the hotel looks forward to this initiative every year.
Partnered with Bahamas Striping. Previously, we've done it at Christmas time, but Christmas time, there's a lot being given away, there's a lot of generosity, and so, when we spoke to Bahamas Striping, they said, well, why don't we do Thanksgiving this year? So basically, Bahamas Striping very kindly donate all of the food. We prepare it, and it really is just as you would expect a real Thanksgiving meal to be: the turkey, the ham, all of the trimmings.
Now, apart from its Thanksgiving meal program, Sandals is gearing up to provide thousands of toys to tots this Boxing Day. Children from various orphanages in the country will be flown to Exuma on Bahamas Air to receive gifts, food, and lots of prizes. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, continues after this.
I've been blown away. Totally love the vibe to really be able to lead this process. I feel a great sense of gratitude around being able to have Shelly to be here with us.
This event was one that you had to be here.
Any time that I am able to spend time with especially young women who have aspirations and things they want to achieve, it is just always wonderful. So this has been a terrific experience today.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
When it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
The forecast calls for great savings at Super Value and quality supermarkets. Best value kernel corn, 15 ounce, $1.19. First choice sugar, 4 pounds, $2.59. Sweet bananas, 99 cents per pound. Cardinal evaporated milk, 14 ounce, $1.19. Smoked picnic hams, $2.69 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and quality supermarkets.
The Sports Report is brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym. The best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball. Your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. It was a grand homecoming for Coach Yolette McPhee-McCowan and her University of Mississippi Lady Rebels as they would run away with their opening game of the Balmar Hoops Pink Flamingo Championship at the Balmar Resort last night. Ole Miss did not disappoint McPhee-McCowan either as the Rebels stayed undefeated in 5 games this season, sealing an impressive 63-50 win over the Dayton Flyers. The Rebels certainly packed their defense in their suitcases, stifling Dayton and only allowing 4 points over the final 5 minutes.
We decided to strap up and play D. At the end of the day, offense is not something that, we know we need, but that ain't our identity. Our identity is defending at a high level, and I thought that we did that. I think we held them to like 2 points in the fourth quarter. Without scoring, that's our reputation. That's how we get that, and it creates easy baskets for us.
And winning on home soil was just incredible for McPhee-McCowan, who expressed her gratitude for the tremendous support she got from her family and friends.
Feels incredible. It's a great feeling. We prideful people in the Bahamas. So for me, this means a lot. Like I was saying, I got emotional writing on the board, just thinking about, being born and raised. Like I was born and raised in the Bahamas. So this means a lot for me to come here and be able to play and have my team step up.
How much of your family and friends did you have here from Grand Bomber, and how important was that for you?
Boy, a lot of them. Trust me, I spent a lot of money on T-shirts and hats. A lot of them. So just really excited that they came and able to see me. A lot of people don't know what I do, so they don't know. This is really only a small part of it, but for them to be able to see it and have a respect for it and get the crowd into it, that's what we needed.
And a busy 24 hours for Coach Yo and her squad as they would also make an appearance at the St. Francis and Joseph Primary School early this morning. McPhee-McCowan is a product of the Catholic education system, so she found it fitting to come back and give some words of inspiration to the students. Also taking it all in was one of Coach Yo's star players.
Yeah, so it's my first time being here in the Bahamas. This is Coach Yo's stomping grounds, and I'm just very glad to be a part of that and for her coming home. And the trip has been amazing. We got the win yesterday, so that's always great. But then to be out and come out in this community and be able to meet the kids here and just be an inspiration in so many ways, it's just been amazing.
As for being inspired by her coach.
Yeah, Yes, Coach Jo herself is just a huge inspiration. Just to even a lot of people back in the States, just for me, being able to play for a coach like Coach Jo, she's so passionate, her energy, everything from just who she is as a person, a mom, a coach, a mentor, everything about her is just so warming and so loving. And so I'm just very humble and blessed to be able to be in this position that I am.
So a photography studio is showing its support to our athletes as they prepare for the 50th Carifta Games next year. The company donating $2,000 to the national team. Owner of Sawyer Studios, Charles Sawyer.
I've been in track and field when I was a kid, and so it is only natural for me to flock back to it, even though I'm not initially running and jumping now. So the best thing is to keep the young ones going and to give them the inspiration that they could go on to make Carifta and Olympics.
The Bahamas is set to host the 2023 Carifta Games, and officials are hoping the event will bring much-needed exposure to our athletes and a further boost to the local economy.
29 countries that will be coming in, and we're looking at about 600 athletes that will be participating. So again, it's the 50th edition, it's the 50th anniversary of the Bahamas, the 50th anniversary of CARICOM, and it's the 50th edition of Carifta. And so at the end of the day, 50-50-50, and indeed I understand that the Prime Minister of the Bahamas will also be the chair of CARICOM next year. So we got 50-50-50. So, we were encouraged by the Bahamas to support this event, and please continue supporting us through your financial contributions, financial or in kind, because it is necessary.
And the University of the Bahamas' men's soccer team in action Sunday, trying to get its winning streak back on track after being snapped the week before. They came up against one of the other contenders for the top spot in the league, the Western Warriors. The Warriors started off slow, and the Mingos had a few strikes on goal and penalty kicks, but could not connect. When the Warriors got going, they could not be stopped. The Mingos pick up their second straight loss for the season with the 4-zip loss at the hands of the Warriors. The Mingos dropped to 5-2 in second place overall in the Bahamas Football Association standings.
Oh, tonight we got a good old-fashioned cut-up. We didn't do anything that we practiced. We had good practice session this week, and we got out here and we just got off plan. I mean, we didn't play the football that was required today, and I have to say, Warriors, not with their strongest team, beat us to every ball. Their energy, their attitude, their whole disposition did us in tonight, and they beat us, and they deserve to be number one.
And that's been a look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return. The Sports Report was brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall Geologics Gymnasium, the best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotiaplan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win
own.
a $3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotiaplan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotiaplan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotiaplan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Welcome to the Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Cybersecurity Tip of the Day for default credentials. Default passwords exist with almost every operating system and application. Point number 1, check the default passwords on all hardware and software and change passwords immediately. Test the credentials to see if they are still valid. When changing passwords, make sure that the new password is strong, unique, and stored securely. Remember, stay safe, stay informed, and stay protected.
The #1 high school basketball showcase in America is back for another year. Last year, we brought you guys the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Dallas, Texas, the Red River Hoop Fest in Texarkana, and the Holiday Hoop Fest in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our series has brought through some elite-level talent by the likes of Trae Young, NBA All-Star, Marcus Smart, De'Aaron Fox, and the list goes on and on. This year, we're super excited to let you guys know we're adding a new stop to the Hoop Fest basketball series. I hope you guys are ready, because we're bringing some of the top high school basketball players in America right here to the Nassau, Bahamas for the Hoop Fest in Paradise. 4 of the top high school teams in the U.S. will be right here competing against each other. When? December 16th and 17th. You can expect some sharp shooting, high flying, and straight up gritty basketball at this year's Hoop Fest in Paradise. December 16th and 17th, 4 of the top high school teams in America will be right here in Nassau, Bahamas. Will you be here?
Keisha, what you saying, girl?
Man, Tony, you scared me.
Oh, they scared.
How this pandemic treating you? You working yet?
After all this time with no vaccine, no job, I had to do something.
Oh, so that's why you finally get your vaccine.
Man, I had to do what I had to do. Now I telling everyone get your vaccine. So you been good?
Yeah, man. I get my vaccine. I working, doing my little nail thing on the side. You know.
Solid. So where we going out though?
Sweet boy, you couldn't handle us then, and you can't handle us now.
Wow, that's how you can do me, Keisha?
All right, Mr. Big Boss Tony. Stay safe.
You too, Keisha.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by WHO, Canada, and USAID.
Christmas is right around the corner. It's time to plan your holiday advertising. And right now, there's a special on ZNS Radio Network remote broadcasts you don't want to miss. Just book your 2-hour ZNS Radio remote for the holidays between October 1st and November 15th and get 30% off the price. Plus, you'll get free promos so everyone will be reminded about your broadcast. Call ZNS Sales Department today at 502-3800 and ask for the holiday radio remote special, and your holidays will be bright.
Time now for weather.
A weakening stationary front continues to hover across the northwest Bahamas, creating some unsettled weather over the area through tomorrow. Beachgoers should exercise caution for rip currents along north and east coast beaches. Mariners should be alert for waterspout activity across the northwest Bahamas. In the northwest Bahamas, the weather is variably cloudy with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Gusty winds and higher seas will occur in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts falling to 10 knots or less tomorrow. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore, but up to 5 feet offshore in light northeast and easterly swells. Seas falling 1 to 3 feet with light swells tomorrow. In the central and southeast Bahamas, the weather fair and breezy tonight with the chance of a brief passing isolated shower or two, becoming mostly sunny and breezy with the chance of isolated showers. Small craft advisory is in effect tonight and a caution will come into effect tomorrow. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts in the central Bahamas. For the southeast Bahamas, 15 to 25 knots tonight, falling to 15 to 20 knots tomorrow. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas, 5 to 8 feet tonight, diminishing to 4 to 7 feet tomorrow in the southeast Bahamas. There's a low temperature tonight of 73 degrees Fahrenheit and a high temperature tomorrow of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And before we end, we want to wish Simone, Delette, Michelle a very happy birthday. Those well wishes coming from your son and our colleague, Daniel, and all of us here at ZNS. Enjoy your day. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And from all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.